The topic for today's discussion is The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. The flow of my presentation is like this. First of all, we'll see the author introduction, title explanation, the theme of the poem, and then we'll go on with the stanza explanation, line by line explanation. Robert Frost is an American writer born in the year 1874 in San Francisco. His poems reflects a wide range of human experience, especially his own experiences. He received 4 Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. Also, he was awarded with the Congressional Gold Medal in 1960 for his poetic works. On July 22, 1961, Frost was named Poet Laureate of Vermont. In the year 1912, uh, American magazines rejected his work, and then, because of his rejection, because of the dejection he faced in his life, he took his family to England and found more professional success later on in his life. And so, when we look at his life, in the initial stage of his writing career, he faced a lot of obstacles in his life, and he started his career as a writer, but he worked in different fields, such as he worked as a cobbler, he worked as a teacher, he worked as a paper distributor, he worked in the farm as a farmer, and finally, he could succeed as a great writer. That is what we can see through his uh, poetical works. So, what made his life a successful one that we can come to know through his writings? And so, before we start with the line by line reading, we'll discuss something about his well known poems. It was written by Robert Frost. Beaches, fire and ice, mending wall, home burial, the death of the hired man, stopping by woods on a snowy evening, acquainted with the night, out, nothing cold can stay. These are all his most well known poems. Okay, so let us start with this particular poem, The Road Not Taken. The theme of the poem. From the title of the poem, The Road Not Taken, we can understand the main theme of the poem, the main focus of the poet. The road, the road is a symbolic representation of the choices that we are making in our life. The path, the road on which we are traveling in our life. So the main theme of the poet is about the decision that we are making in our life, the choices that we are making in our life, the road that we are selecting in our life, the pathway that we are selecting in our life. So, the decision can be of different types. From the morning till night, we are making so many decisions in our life. Very important decision that we are making in our life. So, whenever we are making decision, we'll be confused, we'll be perplexed, and so like that, this poem was written by Robert Frost when he was about to choose his career. So, after a lot of difficulties, he selected his career as a writer. So, that made him to write this poem, The Road Not Taken. So, let us read the poem line by line and try to get the theme of the poem. So, through this poem, he asserts the importance of taking decision in each and every one of our life. Okay, so this poem was initially published in the year 1916 as the first poem in the collection of poetry called The Mountain Interval. Okay, let's start with the stanza 1. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood and looked down, while as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps a better flame, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had on them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in your wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Okay, let us move on to the first stanza. So, the first stanza is about the choice that he has made in his life. The poet was standing before the diverging roads during the autumn season. The yellow wood clearly shows it's a autumn season. The leaves are falling down. The roads are diverged. He was confused in his mind. He could not decide which way to travel, but at the same time, he could not travel on both the roads also. And because he is a one traveler, so he was standing before the roads and he was thinking for a long time before making the decision. And the fourth line clearly shows, and looked down one for as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. And he was searching and he was thinking about the way in which he has to travel, whether he will face difficulty or not. The bent, the word bent, it refers to the difficulty that he will face, the crooked way. If there is any undergrowth, it may be difficult to travel through that way. So he was very keen in analyzing the path in which he has to travel before he makes his decision, before he starts his journey. So here the two routes, it's a symbolic representation of the choices that we are making in our life, or the way, the pathway that we have to travel in our life. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you for listening.